So I think I have two sort of final responses. I would like to add a quasi-Churchillian response to McIntyre. Capitalism is the most unjust of all economic systems, except for every other economic system in history, and it has the virtue of greater prosperity. Final point, McIntyre seems to want us to believe that it's an amazing coincidence that all ostensive Marxist societies have been brutally authoritarian and responsible for the death of millions. This is allegedly due to a distortion of Marxist theory. Well, the same argument could be applied to Hitler and Mussolini and fascism. Maybe if we get fascism and Nazism right the next time, unlike Hitler and Mussolini, it'll work out better. In fact, in Chapter 2, I get into all 10 points of the Communist Manifesto, the only place I think that Marx gives us, in Engels, give us any clue as to what will happen under socialism. And 5 of them are extremely authoritarian measures that concentrate power in the state, and I argue that's exactly what Stalin did in the 1930s. You look at those 10 points, and Stalin tried to implement almost every single one of them in the 1930s. Point 1 advocates the collectivization of agriculture, which I think is the worst, most disastrous policy in the past century. And all communist societies, except I think Poland, have followed that, and it's caused mass starvation. Do I have a couple minutes to mention Popper? Okay. When I called the first part of my paper the Hayek-Popper paradox, paradox is an apparent contradiction. I'm now going to admit that perhaps there really is no contradiction here. In Conjectures and Refutation, Popper sets out 8 liberal theses. I won't go through all of them because number 6 is the key one. A liberal utopia is an impossibility, and I leave out words in there. The missing words, when applied, sort of qualify the difference between him and Hayek. What by utopia Popper means a state rationally designed on a traditionalist tabula rasa. And of course, Hayek agrees that that kind of utopia is not achievable either. And that's the problem with both egalitarian socialists and I think libertarian utopias as well. So it is possible there isn't as drastic a difference between them as seems. I was at the Hoover Institute a year ago, April, going through both the Popper and Hayek archives, and read a lot, of course, the correspondence between them. And as far as I can tell, they never commented on this disagreement between themselves. So I'll finish by saying, yes, there's a paradox there, but more significant is the dilemma that the socialists or other egalitarians still haven't solved. So that's it.
We have some minutes for comments and questions.
Good, no questions. Let's go to the okay.
Well, I'll start. I have 2 short questions.
Sure.
The first is, you said something, but maybe if you could clarify a little more. Is Hayek completely innocent of being labeled a right-winger? And the second is, on your abstract, you said that Popper is more conservative than Hayek.
Yeah.
If you could.
That was originally going to be the paradox. The paradox was that, and actually the part, this is right from this book, Bruce Caldwell, says Popper's politics were considerably to the left of Hayek's, and Malachi Hakuhin says the same thing. And Hakuhin doesn't like Hayek because he corrupted Popper's thought during World War II. And I was going to get into that at the beginning, and I don't see a paradox there. Chapter 2 of my book attacks the whole left-right, liberal-conservative dichotomy, and also criticizes identifying those two. I don't think the left-right distinction is the same as the liberal-conservative. And my argument in favor of this, instead of saying Popper is to the left of Hayek and more conservative, I would say Stalin is well to the left of Hayek, but also more conservative. Because in the 1930s, when he began the most radical economic revolution in history, radical, I think socialist revolution, he also engineered a very conservative counter-revolution, particularly in the area of sexual behavior. He reversed the very permissive trend the Bolsheviks had in the 1920s, including, and this is one of my favorite examples, making homosexuality illegal, as all communist societies have done. And I remember when I read the Hayek's Constitution of Liberty, he defended the Wolf-Enden report in the 1950s that called for the decriminalization of homosexuality. And I can't resist adding for my left-wing friends, he was way ahead of the left wing in advocating equal rights for homosexuals. They only took that cause up opportunistically in the 1960s. So I don't see any paradox in saying someone is more to the left of, but also more conservative. Because I think Popper, in a lot of ways, was more conservative. But, that would take a longer argument.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.